Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know, I'm Serena. I am here making these weekly videos for you. I am a twin flame and spiritual mentor, and also helping twin flames step into their new earth leadership positions. So today I have a beautiful offering for you. I want to open up a conversation, and I'm not sure if you can hear the dog barking in the background. Now it's quiet. It's been barking this entire time, and I've been debating whether I want to film or not. But it's told me that this is a topic that we all have a lot to say on, and maybe it isn't talked about enough. So we're going to dive into the topic today, which is why twin flames may either choose or have to return home for a time during the twin flame journey and on their separation phase. So this is part of my story. It's also part of the story of a lot of twin flames that I've worked with. So if you find yourself, beyond the age in which you thought you would be living at home, I just want to say you're not alone. Nothing has gone wrong. It's all part of the divine plan. And today in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about why this happens. So if you found yourself in this place and you feel like, oh my God, I've royally screwed up, or why do I have to be here, or why was I put in the conditions to make this have to happen this way? There is a divine plan involved, and you are part of that plan, and your family is part of that plan. So, just in case you're in that space and you're wondering, like, why and how, and did I mess up, and could it be different? The answer is no. This was absolutely needed for you in order to move forward on your journey. And now keep in mind, as I'm sharing this video, this is not going to resonate with everybody, and not all twin flames have to go home. Not all twin flames have to live with their parents, or have to live with their siblings, or have to live with mom or dad, or any combination of that. It's not in everybody's journey, but it is in some twin flames journey, and it is in many twin flames journey. So that's why we're going to open up the conversation today. That's why we're going to talk about it a little bit, and we're going to talk about some of the reasons why. Now again, this video is from my own personal perspective. It's from the perspectives of twins that I've worked with and spoken to. And so my job in the Twin Flame Collective is to speak to and interact with a lot of people so that I can gain collective insights and collective wounds and collective shadows, so that we can talk about them here on this channel and we can help transmute them together. So keeping that in mind, a lot of times what I speak on is a very generalized topic of a specific thing, right? So because I'm talking about a collective, you might not fully resonate with everything I talk about here today, and that's okay. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. There are other parts of the collective that are going to resonate with the things that maybe you don't resonate with. So I just want to make that disclaimer, and that's true for all of my videos, really. And that's kind of my purpose here as a twin flame mentor, especially with the community that I run. That community is so valuable to me. If you want to check it out, you can check out the link below. But it's so valuable to me, to you, to the collective, because constantly we're all talking about what's been coming up for us, and it helps us draw parallels, draw conclusions. Like last night on my community call, we literally had all four of us that were there all had something coming up around a father wound or a masculine side. And so it told me that, okay, there's something going on in the collective with our father wounds and with our masculine. And so we are transmuting those things, not only those things, but partly those things on the call. Now, going forward in this video, what we're going to talk about are reasons why you have returned home. So the first reason, the most obvious reason for many twin flames, is financial stuff. So it's no coincidence that this whole millennial problem, and that's at 444 on my time clock. So there's no shortage of coincidence here, because it is divinely planned, right? That the boomer and generations before us went into the workforce with the American dream in mind, right? You can have anything you want if you work for it, if you go to school. Millennials try to do that, it fails, right? So we're seeing now that there are generations living at home in a way that has never happened in recent history, let's say, in recent history that hasn't happened in the Western world. And so we have this problem, right, of people moving back home because they can't afford to live on their own. This is not a failure. This is a divine plan. If we as twin flames had the resources, we know for a fact we would not have gone back home, because there's so much trauma there. There is so much drama there. There's unconsciousness. There are wounds. There are programs that we would rather just work on our own and move on with our lives, right? But no, something happened in your reality causing you to maybe lose financial support. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you're choosing to step away from a position that, really drained you. Whatever it might look like in your particular scenario, something has happened that has forced you back with your parents. So I can give you my example. I was traveling for about a year and a half to 2 years before meeting my twin, and I was in the midst of traveling when I met my twin. Now, then I had a decision to make: leave the karmic scenario, go back to the twin, go back home. What do I do? So I know that I've got a lot of internal work to do. And as the runner in my scenario, I had left my twin flame and said that I was going to come back and see him. I didn't. I ran and I chose to go back home because I knew I wasn't ready for him. I wasn't ready to open my heart in that way. I was just coming out of a very toxic relationship, and so I needed to go home. So, in that scenario, I had limited savings. And I didn't know what I wanted to do yet. I didn't know if I wanted to stay in the United States. I had just met my twin flame who was living in South Africa. Am I going to come back to South Africa? So even from a logic standpoint, not even just financially, but also logically, it made sense for me to return home. I needed the support of like a safe place so that I could heal and do that work. And also financially, it would have drained my savings really fast for me to get my own apartment. So my dad agreed to let me come home. So that's my scenario. Your scenario might sound very similar, might sound a little bit different, but likely the first reason why you're home is some sort of financial situation or some sort of health situation. And so the reason why this happens is because you likely wouldn't have gone home another way, okay? And that leads us to a really important part of this, which is you are doing and you are in the process. And if you're watching this video, I know you already know this. You're in the process of transmuting some really powerful generational wounds, generational curses, ancestral stuff, ancestral patterns, generational traumas, whatever that looks like in your specific scenario. By you being home, you likely had a time being away from home where you really were looking at a lot of your stuff. You were looking at a lot of your programs. You were doing a lot of inner work, a lot of inner healing. You were communing with the divine. And then something happens and it pulls you back home, right? This is for you to finally end and for you to consciously choose those karmic patterns. Hello, Tiny. You stay there. Doggy came to say hello. So this is a time for you to go home so that you can actually see that the work has been done. The work has been transmuted and it has been reclaimed. And so this is going to be a tough time. In some ways, it might be nice to be home, but in other ways, it's really difficult. You have to work on setting boundaries. You have to work on not getting sucked into old paradigms, old programs. This is your time to really prove to yourself on the twin flame journey that you have cemented those new karmic patterns, those new belief systems. And this is a time of doing heavy work in the familial systems. So comment down below if this is what's been coming up for you as you've been working at home. You've been like watching this play out in your inner work, in your inner life. And I'd be really interested to know, like, what are you working through? Are you working through your father wounds, mother wounds, both? What kind of generational stuff is coming up for you? I would love to know in the comments. Again, drawing these patterns, drawing these conclusions for what the Twin Flame Collective is moving through right now is super important for all of us. And one reason is because it helps reduce our shame and our feelings of isolation when we can come together. And this is why my community is so important. When we can come together and feel supported and actually share, this is what the larger forces don't want, right? The larger forces, and not even larger because we're larger at this point, but this is what the more negative forces or the darker forces don't want. They don't want us to come together and speak about it. They want us to stay isolated, because when we're isolated, we're less powerful. When we're connected, we're together, we're more powerful. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But going back to our topic for today, let me know in the comments what kind of work you've been doing while you're at home. And then the third reason why you might be at home is because you're in this transition of old paradigm to new paradigm. And that's part of the work that's going on with the family system, but you're also likely doing work in your financial system. So this means you might be starting a new career path. This means you might be re-envisioning how you want to receive money, right? And so and this is part of the paradigm shift, because I'm not saying how you want to make money. I'm saying how you want to receive money. So we're going away from this more masculine way of operating in terms of finances, and we're going into more of a feminine way of operating, which is receiving. And so part of that receiving is being home, because a lot of times us twin flames, because our wounds around our families are so strong, we like to see things very black and white. My family is bad, I'm not going to be like them, right? I am good, my family is bad. And so when we come home with a new perspective that actually everything is really gray. It's not good or bad. It's not right or wrong. It's that these are the wounds my family gave me, but I'm also receiving support from being here, right? It's not all on you that you're there, and it's not all on them. And this is alerting us to a new way of relating to the world, because this is how it will also be in our twin flame dynamic. In our twin flame dynamic, it can be really easy to shift blame and say, it's all you, it's all your fault, it's all your problem, and step away from how we show up in the relationship. And the same is true with our families. And our twin triggers these wounds and triggers these things, which is why going back to your family is such a strong lesson on this part of the journey, because we have to learn how to become grounded, how to show up differently, and how to, move through in a healthy way, right? Create those boundaries, not allow the energies to affect us, to learn how to cleanse and clear our energies when we need to. All of these different things. There's so many facets to it. I couldn't even bring up all the facets in one video, so I'm not even going to try. But many of you are stepping out of your old paradigms into your new paradigms, and you need that safe space in order to start bringing this into fruition, right? You need a financial break in order to reimagine what you want to create in New Earth. And I'll give you an example from my own experience, right? So I moved back from traveling to live with my dad for about 6 months. During that time when I was living with him, I had zero idea of what I was going to do. I had always thought about maybe having some sort of an online presence. When I was in my karmic relationship, I kind of started up like an Instagram thing, and I was doing that because I was like posting about our journeys and our travels and the things I was learning. And so that was kind of like an open love letter. But I never really conceptualized it as like a full-blown business. It was always kind of like a passion project. And I never merged the fact that those things could be one and the same, right? That my passion projects could also bring in abundance and bring in material wealth. And so my start of my YouTube channel was really this big kind of commitment to myself and my new evolution and my new journey, that yes, I can do this, and that speaking about this is valuable, and that my support and my lessons and my guidance is actually valuable. So if you find yourself at home, know that this might be a time where you are shifting from your old matrix work or career into your new earth work, purpose, career, soul aligned business, whatever you want to call it. you're shifting into that place. And I want to say, if you are shifting into that place and you're looking for more support, I am creating an incredible container for twin flames that are stepping into their new earth creative leadership roles. You can check the link down below and you can find it there. So I'm crafting this incredibly beautiful container for those of you that are truly ready to step into that soul aligned version of yourself and, you know, create a blueprint that's truly 100% your own and feels truly 100% aligned to your soul. So I'm aligning to my soul and my soul's path, walking this path with you. And yeah, let's do it together. So if you're interested in that and that feels aligned and that feels like a calling that you're ready to pick up for, check the link down below. But likely during this time, it's really important. Now I want to shift this video from the 3 reasons that you might be at home to how to manage this time at home. Okay, so if you find yourself living back with your parents, likely tons of karmic patterns are going to come up. That's just natural because you're being charged to break those patterns and you're being charged to clear that karma and to choose another way. Okay, so part of clearing karma is choosing a different path, right? If your parents say something and that makes you shrink down and feel small, this time you're going to stand up and you're going to set your boundary, right? So making a different choice, choosing empowerment, is how to break those cycles. Also clearing it energetically. Many of you might be working in the energetic space. So clearing things energetically means tapping into your chakras, tapping into your heart space, tapping into the family line and clearing things in the family line, doing all means of this type of stuff. And this can look so many different ways. This can look like sitting out in nature for an hour. This can look like accessing your guides, your ancestors, your ascended masters, your angels, all of those types of things. Or this can look like, you know, doing a bathing ritual. It can look so many different ways, you guys. It doesn't have one way of looking. And so part of this work that you're doing is moving through all these generational things. So what you need to be doing at this time is being incredibly gentle with yourself, okay? Knowing that you are moving through a lot, even if it doesn't look like you're doing a lot on the physical, you're moving through a lot. So be gentle with yourself, allow yourself to slow down, allow yourself to receive what your family gives you without judgment, resentment, or guilt, right? This can be really difficult if we're working on receiving wounds with our family. I remember my dad, like I felt so guilty that he wanted to make me food, he wanted to cook me dinner, he wanted to buy my groceries, he was always asking me, are you okay on money? Like, how are you doing? And like I felt so guilty, but it was a lesson for me to learn to receive from the masculine. Then there's the other aspect of that. So you might be in that aspect, but then there's the whole other aspect where when you're shifting from the old ways of operating out of the masculine to ways of operating in a more feminine way, you might be perceived as lazy from your family. And I had both of these, so I know. And it's both aspects of it are challenging. It's challenging to receive, but it's also challenging to stay in your feminine when those around you are perceiving you as lazy or perceiving you as a freeloader or perceiving you as directionless. If you're really surrendered at this point and you're at home, you're surrendered to spirit source, your family might have questions for you like, what are you doing? Are you going to get a job? What's going on? And the really difficult part is to say, I don't know. I don't know. And you don't even have to give them the full context. You don't have to say, Spirit's leading me. You don't have to say, like, I'm just trusting the universe, because your family might not get it, and that's okay. They're not meant to get it. But that doesn't mean you shrink yourself down. Okay? So this is where the balances can be really challenging, because you have to sit there and say, I don't know when I'm going to get a job. I don't know when I'm going to have money coming in. I don't know when I'm moving out. I don't know where I'm going. You might not have answers to any of this, but you can still be in your power, right? Like, just because they're projecting that that means you're inferior onto you doesn't mean that you have to believe that. Again, this is about breaking generational karmas and generational curses, because whatever they're trying to put on you doesn't mean that you have to take that in. You can say, hey, no, that's yours. I'll let you know when I have a plan. For right now, this is what I'm doing, right? And you can be really strong in those boundaries. I know it's super difficult, especially with your family. There's that quote out there that's like, when you're enlightened, if you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your family. And it's true, because our families bring up all the unconscious stuff that we have been living out of those programs for so long. And when you're on this type of a journey, it can be challenging. But the point here is be gentle with yourself. Stay in your power and keep connecting to your self-love routines, your divine connection points, right? So keep doing your meditation, keep doing your yoga, keep doing your mantras, keep doing your affirmations. Like, this is a time for you really to root back into yourself in a safe and secure way, right? Because you're at home. So even if mentally, emotionally you don't feel safe, right? I know that feeling. Even if mentally and emotionally you don't feel safe, you actually are safe. Like, physically, you are safe. So just keep reminding yourself, you have food, you have shelter, you have clothing, you have a bed likely to sleep in at night. You are safe. And remind yourself, I am safe. I am safe. I am protected. And create and generate that feeling of protection from within. Even if you don't know where the money's coming from, even if you feel triggered emotionally and mentally, remember, physically, you are okay. You are safe. And the other ones, you are already doing the work to transcend that and move through it. So, again, just being super, super gentle with yourself at this time. Give yourself a lot of grace. Know that you are home in divine plan. There's a divine plan that's already unfolding, and you being home is part of that plan. Okay, so you've done nothing wrong. You're in a good place. You just gotta ride this storm out, really, is the best way I can say. And make decisions that are supportive of you, right? Stay in your power. So I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have, please like, comment, subscribe. Please share it with somebody that you love. And we will see you in the next video. Big love, Serena.